as Kamala continues her press run, okay, she recently took some shots at Governor Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida. And let's just say when Trump said on that debate stage, a little secret, he hates her, referring to Joe Biden, not liking Kamala, I think he was 1000% correct. I don't know how Trump always knows this stuff, but he does, because Biden basically tanked her again. So I'm going to show you guys these clips because she took some political shots at Governor DeSantis twice over, the hurricane and whatnot. So I'm going to show you guys those two clips first because she went on The View with one, and then one was an interview, it looks like at an airport before she was taken off or coming back. And then we'll get into Ron DeSantis' rebuttal and what Biden actually said. With that being said, let's dive in.
President, Governor DeSantis, NBC is reporting Governor DeSantis is ignoring your calls on hurricanes, resources, and help. How does that hurt the situation here?
Moments of crisis, if nothing else, should really be the moment that anyone who calls themselves a leader says they're going to put politics aside and put the people first. People are in desperate need of support right now, and playing political games with this moment in these crisis situations, these are the height of emergency situations, is just utterly irresponsible, and it is selfish, and it is about political gamesmanship instead of doing the job that you took an oath to do, which is to put the people first.
Something that I also just thought about, that almost seems set up, right? Because remember all the video clips of her coming and going on the plane and her faking like she's got an earbud in and never actually being plugged into anything, and her walking right past all the reporters, sometimes not even acknowledging them, and other times just waving and continuing on. Why all of a sudden now does she do an interview? And in that interview, the reporter says, well, NBC reported that Ron DeSantis is ignoring your calls during this tragedy, right? Trying to take a shot at a Republican. And that's the question that she answers. I don't know. I just found that a little weird. Almost seemed a little set up to me, but that's just me. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Here is what happened on The View as well. Check it out.
Now, he said this morning, you've never called regarding any of the storms Florida has had since you've been vice president until apparently now, and called it political. What's your response to that?
In fact, she's been vice president for 3.5 years. I've dealt with a number of storms under this administration. She has never contributed anything to any of these efforts. And so what I think is selfish is her trying to blunder into this. No.
Well, first of all, I have called and talked with, in the course of this crisis, this most recent crisis, Democrat and Republican governors. Called, taken the call, answered the call, had a conversation. So obviously, this is not an issue that is about partisanship or politics for certain leaders, but maybe is for others.
Notice she didn't answer the question. I'm gonna repeat the first part.
Now, he said this morning, you've never called regarding any of the storms Florida has had since you've been vice president.
Yeah. Any of the storms since you've been vice president. And she talked about just this one. Well, yeah, I called, and her answer was absolutely terrible. Goodness gracious, maybe she is cooked. I don't know. But I also want to play the full clip of what Ron DeSantis had to say when he was asked about her taking shots. Check it out.
And we've been laser focused on leveraging all resources available, including from the federal government. And I've been in touch with both FEMA and the president, as well as marshaling all our state agencies and working to support our local communities. And so for Kamala Harris to try to say that my sole focus on the people of Florida is somehow selfish is delusional. She has no role in this. In fact, she's been vice president for 3.5 years. I've dealt with a number of storms under this administration. She has never contributed anything to any of these efforts. And so what I think is selfish is her trying to blunder into this. No. And here's the thing. She has no role. No, she has no role in this process. I'm in contact with the President of the United States. I'm in contact with FEMA director. I'm obviously managing all our state agencies. We're supporting all our local government. And I will say this. I've had storms under both President Trump and President Biden, and I've worked well with both of them. She's the first one who's trying to politicize the storm, and she's doing that just because of her campaign. She's trying to get some type of an edge. She knows she's doing poorly, and so she's playing these political games. I don't have time for political games. I've got people whose lives are on the line. I've got people whose homes and their possessions are on the line, and we are focused 100% on that mission. I'm not worried about playing her political games. And so she is being selfish by trying to blunder into this when we're working just fine.
Yeah, I think Ron DeSantis put that perfectly. And for her to all of a sudden try to pop up and, hey, Ron DeSantis, let's talk about the recent tragedy when you've never called, right? You've never spoken to him. In the past 4 years that you've been the vice president, you never bothered to call with any of the hurricanes or tragedies that have happened in Florida. Now all of a sudden you allegedly attempt to make a phone call, and now you want to politicize it. Shows you where the campaign actually is, okay? It shows you how well they are really doing. Well, this is what Joe Biden had to say recently when he was asked about it, because, of course, Kamala tried to politicize it and make it sound and seem as if, oh, Ron DeSantis trying to, score some political points and not talk to, a Democrat, when he's been in full contact with Joe Biden, and Joe Biden admitted it.
Mr. President, the governor of Florida has been cooperative. He said he's gotten all that he needs. I talked to him again yesterday, and I said, no, you're doing a great job. It's all being done well. We thank you for it. And I literally gave my personal phone number to call. So I don't know. There was a rough start in some places, but every governor from Florida to North Carolina has been fully cooperative and supportive and acknowledged what this team is doing. And they're doing an incredible job. But we got a lot more to do.
Oh, Ron DeSantis is doing an incredible job. He's spoken to him, even gave him his own personal phone number. But Kamala's trying to butt in for political purposes to try to make it sound and seem as if she's presidential, even though she didn't sound presidential on The View at all. Even in that little short clip where you heard her speak for all of 15 seconds, that sounded like a nervous wreck. Didn't answer the question. Yeah, so I've called a Democrat governor and a Republican governor on this crisis here. Well, what? He was talking about all the other crisis situations. So yeah, I just think this whole dynamic between her and Biden is really quite interesting to watch. Because like I said earlier, I think Trump is correct when he says Biden actually truly doesn't like Kamala. He doesn't like her, especially now that she took his spot. I don't think Joe Biden wanted to leave. And I said this before. I was saying this in past videos. I thought the reason why Biden was still running was because he wanted to stay in the race. He didn't want to give it up. Him and Jill, right? They didn't want to leave. But Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer went up to Joe and said, "Step down or else." Now, what that or else meant, I don't know. Not quite sure. Who knows? If Hillary's involved, we know where that one could possibly go. oh boy. But yeah, not to say that I'm advocating for that. Okay, I want to make that clear. Not advocating for that for those who actually understood what I was talking about. Not advocating for that. Don't want that to happen under any circumstances whatsoever. Before anybody tries to twist my words. Not at all. Don't want it to happen. Unacceptable. But I don't know. You guys let me know. What do you think the or else probably meant? Because that's what I genuinely think happened. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer went up to him and said, "Hey, step down or else." or else. And Obama, of course, or else. And Joe was like, well, I guess, I guess. And he left, right? And even that letter, and I think Nancy Pelosi actually kind of alluded to it, that letter that was released after Joe Biden stepped down, he didn't write that. He didn't put that together. And even Nancy Pelosi admitted it. I forgot her exact words, but she said something to the effect of that didn't sound like Joe. She even admitted it. And maybe it didn't have anything to do with her. Maybe the or else meeting didn't have her in it. Maybe it was just Chuck Schumer and Obama, or maybe just Obama and Hillary or something. I'm not too sure. There's several rumors out there. There was rumors that it was Obama and Hillary, just Obama, Nancy and Chuck. I don't know whoever, right? You guys can let me know who you think the or else people were in the comment section. But that's what I believe happened. And Joe Biden is very unhappy about it still. Even with him partially being gone, right? There's still parts of him there, which we see that from time to time, and he's unhappy about it. And so he throws these little shots at Kamala that aren't like crazily overt. He's not coming out and saying, oh yeah, Kamala is absolutely terrible. You probably shouldn't vote for her because she's going to destroy the country. But he throws just little shots. Like, yeah, me and Kamala, we sing the same tune. We are her campaign and my campaign. We're interlocked, right? Oh no, what she said about Ron DeSantis, that's a lie. Me and Ron DeSantis have been in contact. He's doing a fantastic job. As a matter of fact, I gave him my own personal phone number. Like just little shots, nothing completely overt, but just like little, throwing the rock and hiding his hands. I ain't do it. Nah, I ain't do nothing. I don't know. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comment section. That's what I think is happening. And it's quite interesting to watch. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.